Welcome back to Itsnotjunktv. My name is Jarvis, and today, I guess it's body work. Ended up picking up a little truck, I guess a couple months back, bought it or put a deposit on it at an estate sale, and just a couple days ago heard from them. Little Dodge Dakota, nothing fancy. Low mileage for it to be as old as it is, late 90s. Overall, little truck, not bad shape. Got a little bit of typical Ohio rust, but the tailgate don't have typical Ohio rust, but it has been smashed and bashed up on one end. So I think what we're going to do is take a couple of attempts at trying to pull this back out, see if we can't get it somewhat straight. Don't want to throw a whole lot into this little truck. Going to put some ball joints in it at a future date, but other than that, I'm not going to throw a whole lot into it. So I think we're going to attempt to see if we can save this little tailgate. So hang tight. Let's go take a look at it, and be sure to drop a comment, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't yet. But drop a comment below if you think you would attempt to try to save this. So let's go. Alright, here it is. Like I say, doesn't look bad. Little plastic inserts missing from around the handle, but I've got it. Little surface rust there. No real rust around the bottom. No flaking, no bubbling. Nice and solid. And then you come up here, decals a little worn. Top of the bed, bam! There's a big one there. Couple spots right there. And it gets nice and smooth again. Looks good, looks good, looks good. We trip over some stuff. And then bam, there it is again. It has had a big crunch. Let me lay this thing down. Trying to keep it on this cardboard because, well, this diamond plate is pretty rough stuff. But there it is. I say pretty flat there. And bam, it got hit good. Let's see if we can turn around here. Now it's rolled. It's supposed to have this little pop the paint here, but no rust along the bottom. All the weep holes, drain holes are open. A little bit of bubbling right there, but look, no, that's nothing. That's nothing for these things. Not for these little Dodges. So, this is what we're contending with. Alright, let me start knocking this all down. First attempt, I think, is going to be start about right here and start drilling us the holes, and then we're going to try one of these god awful things, one of these slide hammers. I've added a little extra weight to it because this was the smallest, probably the biggest one I could find in my batch of things. This sun, I thought it was gone for today. Yeah, you get back here a little bit. So yeah, we're going to try to start pulling this out, and then I'll start trying to massage this over. I suspect with like every one of these, it's just going to pull out before it does anything. So what I'll end up having to do is take a whiz wheel, cut right here, get this opened up, and then we'll start figuring out how we're going to massage this. I can get this moved back over, I think. Might have to heat it up a little bit, but we'll see. Alright, like I said, I don't have much faith in these little pullers, so we'll give it a shot on a couple spots here. Go ahead and ratcheted it down to this bench that I've got. I think we'll start somewhere right there. right there. I don't suspect this to do real good. Alright. Well, that drill bit is just a tad too small. I don't want to go too much bigger. Let's see about this one. Let's see if that was just enough. Well, we're gonna have, yeah, maybe I can use it up. Hurdy there. Well, I ain't gonna do it either. Well, let's get this hole so big that it'll never hold nothing. Might as well, right? I'm destined to have to cut this open. Uh-oh. There we go. That threaded in there all the way. Pull this stuff off of here. All the way around there. Try to do this without pinching your hand. Alright, well, believe it or not, it did move. Wow. So now it's going to be... Alright. There we go. That'll work. Thread it the same. Alright. Well, more of that. Well, I ended up with the exact results that I thought I would with the slide hammer. I pulled on them until they strip out the holes. This one I got to move maybe a ½ inch. So I was looking at this thing and went ahead and pulled the latch assembly out of it, and that leaves just enough room to where I can get my arm up in it. But because of the cross member halfway down the middle of this thing, I can't get a good swing on a hammer enough to do anything. It just taps on it and it's not going to be enough. So I was looking at it and I thought, well, I wonder if I can do something with an air hammer. So I got looking around. I had no hammer bits for an air hammer, so I come up with this one. Got a rounded edge, Probably should have cut those threaded ends off there. Glop some weld on it just to kind of hold it. It's probably going to break free anyway, so. But I can just get this in there, and if I can get this pipe to just follow this curve right here, I might be able to use this to pop it back out. So I don't know, I've not tried it yet. Let's see if it'll do anything. It probably won't, but I'm trying to avoid having to cut this, do all that extra welding. End up with my arm stuck in here. I tested it, of course, but may have done a little. Slowly but surely, but I don't think that's going to work. I think we're cutting it. I'm just going to have to weld it back up. Well, that was worth trying, but not everything works. All right, plan 2. Well, here we are. I went ahead and just split this, took a whiz wheel, and just tried to stay as crooked as I could get it and as rough and as double cutted as I could get it. That way when I go to weld this, it's a pain and it takes a lot of fill. Now, but that's it. Now I guess I'm just going to start opening this up and working this up and seeing what we can do with it here. Okay, it's the next day. I've had a time to think about this a little bit, so attempt one, regular dip puller, that threaded stud they give you that comes with them, pulls out. Air hammer with my little specialty thing on it, that didn't work. So now I'm back to this. Now, since I can get my arm in through here, I can get this nut and these washers on the back side, and I'm hoping now with a couple new holes we can get this back in here, get it bolted in instead of using just like a big wood screw that these things come with. And I'm hoping, since there's a line here that kind of starts where the edge of that bed starts to curl, I'm hoping I can start pulling this, and then this one really will actually end up going back down and around flat once this gets out. This is split, so that should move on its own. We'll see what see if I can get this thing to move at all this time around. Alright, let's see if this won't work. Hopefully we can I can get this to pull back out of here. I tried to stack up a bunch of washers on there just to give it something to bite. Nothing real big. I don't want to create any indents if possible. That hole is just the right size. Run that in there. That's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. Make sure you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Put my foot on that stand. Alright, hold on a second. Alright, so I added another ratchet strap, try to strap this thing down a little more. I don't think it's going to work. I'm probably going to have to set it down somewhere. Probably use the ground to be able to get enough pull on this thing. Pulling my whole little contraption over here. I am making some progress though. Can't get a swing on it. No, I'm starting to bend my bolt already. That did take long. Let's see. Probably have to use a grade 8 or something to get it to hold up long term. Well, might as well until this bolt breaks. Well, it's progress. We'll keep going here. about that. Probably not, but let's see. Oh. Very good. Locked up here. Closer. All right, next attempt I've got going here. I'm gonna try to use something else. Got this chain around this big tree, a couple ratchet straps, this piece of 2x2 to kind of give me a straight edge there. There's a piece of that slide hammer. This is running here and bolted through with a nut and a rounded piece. I think it was a butt to a knife, a butt cap to a knife, but that's in here. And I got that coming over to here. Got a little winch set up off around another tree. I don't have a switch, so I just run hot and negative to it. It seems to work. So I'm gonna put a little tension on it. Let's see what happens. It's making noise. It's kind of moving it back out there. It's not staying under tension. See, that's not under like extreme. So that means it's moving. I might have to move it over here and see. And then I need to get a hammer and start moving this back. Let's tap it a couple more times. See what happens. All right. Still not under crazy tension, so that means we're not. I need to start tapping this ridge down. I'll worry about dollying it and flattening it after the fact. I need to start tapping that down. Alright, let me work on it and I'll show you the progress. Well, here we are another day. Another day of work, just got back in. So as when I think we stopped off before, I had broke my little puller tool that I was using. And I stuck this little eye bolt in there. And you can see we pulled that straight out. So I couldn't find a forged. I looked for a forged eye bolt, couldn't find one. So I found this quarter. If I just keep drilling holes in this, I might as well just cut it out, straighten it, and then, you know, patch it all up and put it back in. But I'm trying to avoid that. So I think with this pull still here strapped to the trees and to the winch, hold on. All right, still strapped to the trees and the winch. I'm gonna put this bolt through right here where this body line is. I'm gonna put this, I wish I'd just keep holding this camera where it needs to be. I'm gonna put this on the inside, run that bolt through it, put nuts and washers and stuff on that back side. And that should help me with a round edge, which should be right in there. There's that, sort of comes right through here. You see, I pulled some of it out. If I could get this crease out of it right here, Then I can start bringing, there's a hump here where this excess metal is, and then I can start bringing that down. But let's see if we can, let me get this all set up here, and when we come back, we'll see if we can't give this a pull. All right, got it set back up again here. Got my cable back on here. That eye bolt, that piece of pipe. Make sure it's positioned right. Let's see, but just over to my winch. There's my puller where it's snapped. Let's put some tension on this and see what happens. If it don't pull the whole thing out. Well, let's see. There we pull. Oh, well. I think this battery I got's a little low. Let me try a different battery and see what we get. See if we can get a little more oomph. Like I say, I put that board on there as a straight edge. Scared that grasshopper out from underneath there. If I could get that little spot right there, I might have to drill out another. Let me find a stronger battery. See if we can't get this thing to pull itself out. All right, we're still doing this here. This was that last pull. I pulled it. I mean, it's awful, but it's not crushed anymore. I still got to dolly it and stuff. Obviously, it's going to get some fill in it. But I've drilled another hole a little further down where this crease is. It's running down right here. I'll probably have to come back and again in the middle, but I've already bent this hook out doing this one. I straightened it out a little bit, so I've bent it back, so it's probably not gonna, let me show you something other than the ground. It's probably gonna bend out again, but let's give it another tug and see if we can get that wrinkle out. Set you up here close and see if I can. Don't you see some of it coming out there? Or the thing's gonna come back and destroy my phone. Either way, could be cool. I'm not kidding about destroying my phone. Alright, it's starting to pull a little bit. Alright. Yeah, that hook's already starting to pull itself out. I figured. Cardboard was going to be a good idea. This thing lets go, it's going to fly that way. That pulled quite a bit of it out. I'm going to sit there and relax a minute. pull out a little bit too much actually. All right. I kind of don't want to put another hole here to pull this out. Alright, I think I'm gonna back it off. Maybe, let's see what we get. Let me get this thing flopped back around and moved so we can see it. Alright, got it back up here on the table. Set up here. And get an idea. See how I had that piece of pipe back here. You can see this body line curves over, and kind of comes back here. So, unfortunately, I think this dent, unless I can get my hand up in there and with a dolly and a hammer and see if I can't work that out a little bit, that's going to end up getting skimmed. A little bit of a hump right there. That's going to get worked out. But you can see from where it was, now I've got all these monstrous holes. Stretched her a little bit. I'm going to try heating it up and see if I can. But it's getting better. I think from now on it's going to be all hammer and dolly. Maybe an adjustable wrench or two. If I can get a dolly up underneath this curve right here and get this worked back. This I won't worry about flattening back out until I get it. I may actually take it here and start flattening it back down a little bit. The inside I'm not so worried about. There's a bed liner on this thing, one of them plastic bolt-on type bed liners, hard plastic. And it's going back in it, so I don't think I'm really concerned about how the inside is going to be. I mean, of course I'm going to finish it and paint it and everything. But I don't think, if it don't turn out totally unrolled, I might be actually to dolly some of that back out. I know, but I think that's gonna have to be for the next video because this one's getting long. It's getting better, better than it was. I mean, like I said, for a total waste tailgate. But I think that's all for this video. If you want to see the rest of it and how this is going to turn out, because at this point I don't even know. But I think I'm going to go ahead and drop this one out to you so y'all can be anticipating the rest of it. If you've not hit like and subscribe, be sure you do that. I need some more subscribers. I'm trying to grow this thing, trying to get more videos out, and trying to make sure everybody's happy. I appreciate you stopping by today. This is Itsnotjunktv, and I'm Jarvis. And until next time, take care.